I want to thank IDB for inviting me to come here to share some of my perspective from a scholar on this topic. And I did learn a lot from the opening and the last panel. And we're going to talk more about, or more specific about, China's engagement with Latin America during the past more than decade. Okay, as we know, during the postmodern decade, China's relationship or economic ties with Latin America has growing very quickly, and we have a very close relationship nowadays. And in terms of trade and investment, first we can look at this chart. So from 2000 to 2014, the trade between two sides have been growing at an average annual rate of above 30%, reaching 263 billion US dollars in last year. And investment, I mean, especially Chinese non-financial outward FDI to Latin America and the Caribbean region from 2003 to 2014. You can say the total number, both the stock and the flows, are keeping increasing. And according to the data from MOFCO, the Ministry of Commerce of China, as of the end of last year, China's non-financial outbound FDI stock volume had amounted to 646.3 billion US dollars, and among which almost 100 billion US dollars were toward Latin America. But we also know, as some scholars mentioned before, we have some problems nowadays with the economic growth from both sides. And since 2010, you can see that China's GDP growth rate has been slowing down or falling from 10.63% to 7.4% last year. And according to the new release, the number for the first 3 quarters of this year is kind of below 7. So it's something that we need to face in the future. I mean, under the new norm, we may have slower growth in the not near future, maybe in the long future. And look at the GDP growth rate of the region. The average is not very desirable, because we can say that after an impressive pick up in the wake of the world financial crisis of 2008 and 2009, the GDP growth rate of the whole region fell from 6.1 to last year about 1.3%. And according to the estimate from IMF and ACLAC, this year's growth rate will be just 0.5%. And also, in terms of trade, we do have a lot of growth in the past decade, but also we can say that from 2012 to last year, the total number or the growth rate is kind of negligible, very small. And also, China's imports from the region, we can say, especially the new release of the 3 quarters of this year, is just 80% of the number of the same period of last year. So it's very likely that this year's total number of the two trade, between China and Latin America can can be smaller than last year. That's my personal assumption. But we need to, I think this is a very high time to talk about this issue. But personally, or from my humble point of view, I think we need to, or we might need to look at this issue from a different angle. Because my idea is a softer growth or growth rate or softer growth might not be necessarily mean, something bad or something very bad, because we can see some positive scenario emerged during the past, especially few years. For example, my recent research report about China's agriculture cooperation with Latin America, the main conclusion is kind of coincided with the final result of the newly released report from ACLAC, that even though the total number, the non-traditional commodity exports from Latin America to China suffered during the past few years, or has decreased. But on another hand, we can say that some non-traditional commodities, not commodities, but value-added products like agriculture, especially agro-industrial products or food, processed food, and now more and more you can say in Chinese market. More export from Latin American countries to China. So these are some products you can find in Chinese markets. This slide, there are all some products from Peru, and this slide I listed only 3 products from Chile. They have more, and we know that some of the agricultural products exporting to China nowadays actually very, very successful. For example, blue cherries and berries from Chile now actually dominate the market share in China. And there are some products from Argentina, from Brazil and from Argentina, and tequila from Mexico, and other products and coffee from Colombia, and other fruits, high value added, and beef from Uruguay, flour from Ecuador, and pineapple from Costa Rica, and we have even more. And in terms of investment, we can see that there are also some subtle changes behind the whole thing. The last few years witnessed that economic ties between China and Latin America and Caribbean achieved considerably diversification in many ways. So you can say a lot of different industries, investment from different industries now had their presence in the region, including manufacture, agriculture, electronics, power, information technology, and many other industries. So nowadays, investment is no longer only a means to gaining natural resources, of course, but also you can find that behind the momentum of the motivation of the investors, they are trying to find more other things, not only raw materials. For example, they are trying to explore overseas market, reduce production and logistic cost, and increase competitiveness and other purpose. There are some logos of the companies now investing in the region. So you can see from this logos, they actually from very, various different sectors and different industries. For example, automobile companies, and agriculture company, and renewable energy. Even a lot of the main 4 banks now have branches or subsidiaries in the region, and also some household and electronic appliance companies are now entering into the market of Latin America. And also IT company, very interesting. I mean, some e-commerce company, and there are some agriculture investors here, or traders, and shipping, China's shipping industry enterprises. As the first picture, I took the first picture at the factory of cherry, which located in Jacare, which is very close to São Paulo. And just the days after my visit, I mean, another Chinese company, not very far from the factory of cherry, another company selling heavy industry held its cornerstone ceremony. So they're trying to invest a new plant in the same area. And the last one is a very interesting investment we never seen before. And this is a soccer club investment, which now run by Shandong Lungnang. And the original investor is State Grid. And they, it is very interesting because they have 2 purposes. First, they are doing business. They want to, make money through this investment. But the other thing, they also brought a lot of Chinese teenagers to join the training program there for free. They can stay for years or something to help Chinese teenagers to improve their technique of playing football and maybe other things. So it's very interesting. And you can say that agriculture investments, especially I think a lot of people here, I mean a lot of participants today, you must know the 2 very big, very impressive acquisition by COFCO in 2014. And in the same year, COFCO acquired INTAL, which is a Dutch trader, in February, and then 2 months later, another company based in Hong Kong, Noble's agribusiness arm, is acquired by COFCO. So through this way, I mean, the largest grain trader in China, COFCO, indirectly engaged with Latin American agriculture business or agriculture investment. There's some agriculture assets owned by INTAL, so they do have a lot of different facilities, infrastructure, and other, even the R&D center here in the whole region. And also, this is the agriculture assets map of the Hong Kong-based Noble agribusiness arm. So they have some very key or strategic infrastructural facilities here, some terminals. Actually, they have 4 terminals in the 4 countries, Brazil, Argentina, Uruguay, and Paraguay, and they have some warehouses and crushing facilities and a lot of different agriculture assets. So the first picture is the terminal, the grain terminal they owned, which is located in the place of Argentina, and the second one is the terminal 12, which is located in Santos, which is a port of São Paulo state, and some storage facilities and seed research center or farm. And this is not good time, of course, but as our ambassador mentioned this morning, Chinese leaders or Chinese government also raised or put forward some very important initiative because we all want a sustainable, a long-term development, of relationship with Latin America, a more healthy relationship with the whole world. So in terms of China's relationship with Latin America, I think these two initiatives are very important. And first is the 1+3+6 a framework which put forward by our President Xi Jinping in 2014 in Brazil, when he participated the China, Latin America, and Caribbean Summit in July. And according to the framework, and especially please pay attention to the sixth field here, he mentioned that we should focus more on cooperation in this sixth field, and including some very important ones like infrastructure construction and also manufacturing or the other way of expression of manufacturing cooperation is the industrial cooperation, which put forward or proposed by our Premier Li Keqiang in this year when he visited some countries in the region. And also, as some specialists mentioned earlier, we also have some or prepare to set up some loans and funds to support those programs or initiatives. So we do have a strong basis to go forward. And in terms of infrastructure, and actually, there can be a win-win scenario because as we know that, or you can say the numbers here, according to World Economic Forum reports, so we can say that Latin America and Caribbean region, totally or in average, the infrastructure situation is not very desirable. So some need to build new ones, or some may need just renovate or upgrade. And China is very strong in infrastructure and construction area, so we do have a lot of room for cooperation. And there are also some mega project investment which we have discussed for some time, and as we know, the facility study just kicking off, so we still need to wait and see what will happen in the future because it's a huge one, so it must be very complicated. But as we mentioned, we still have a lot of other opportunities to do on this area. And also, back to the trade, I mentioned agriculture, opportunity for exporting more agricultural products to China. And also, I think that maybe we should think about to export more service from Latin America to China. Because now in China, when it comes to Latin America and Caribbean, I'm afraid not many people know where's Machu Picchu, where's Didi Gaga or Iguazu Falls, but many people will know soccer and tango and a lot of culture things, even magic realism or in barbecue or something. So I think we can do a lot to promote or to find more opportunities in this area. Anyway, I'm a scholar, so sometimes I must admit I'm kind of idealistic. So in the end, I want to do a little paraphrase of the famous opening sentence of the novel A Tale of Two Cities. So for me, It isn't the best of times, but it isn't the worst of times. So let's get out of the boom trap and to pursue a more sustainable and more long-standing development. So that's all my presentation. Thank you so much.